Welcome back to Living Well After 60, the channel where we talk openly about health, aging, and the small changes in our bodies that often raise big questions. Today, we're diving into a surprisingly common issue: eyelid twitching after the age of 60. Many older adults notice their eyelids suddenly flutter or spasm, sometimes for a few seconds, sometimes for days in a row. It can feel harmless, but it can also make you wonder, is my body trying to tell me something more serious? In this video, we'll break down what eyelid twitching is, the possible causes, when it's just a nuisance, and when it might be a sign to call your doctor. So grab a cup of tea, sit comfortably, and let's get into it.
Before we dive deeper, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. This way you won't miss our upcoming videos with more life-changing health tips. Also, share this video with friends or family who might benefit from it.
Part 1. What exactly is eyelid twitching? Eyelid twitching, medically called myokymia, is a brief, repetitive spasm of the muscles in your eyelid. Most people describe it as a fluttering, almost like a little vibration under the skin of the upper or lower lid. It comes suddenly, often without warning, and then stops just as quickly. For people over 60, eyelid twitching is one of those little body quirks that become more noticeable with age. The good news is that in the majority of cases, it's completely harmless. But because aging also brings changes in the nervous system, the eyes, and circulation, older adults tend to be more cautious. Rightfully so. Think about it. If you're 25 and your eye twitches after a long night on the computer, you brush it off. But if you're 65 and it keeps happening for a week, you naturally wonder if it could be connected to your blood pressure, your medication, or even a neurological condition. That's why understanding the full picture matters. Everyday triggers that seniors often overlook. One of the most common causes of eyelid twitching is fatigue. As we age, our sleep quality can decrease, whether from medications, sleep apnea, restless legs, or just the natural aging of our sleep cycles. When the body is tired, nerves misfire more easily, and one of the first places you notice this is in the tiny muscles of the eyelid. Caffeine is another big trigger. Many seniors enjoy their morning coffee or even an afternoon tea. But as the body becomes more sensitive with age, what used to feel like a normal amount of caffeine might now overstimulate your nervous system, leading to twitching. Our strain plays a major role too. Even though retirement might mean less computer use for some, for many older adults, screens are actually more common now. Reading on tablets, watching shows, video, calling family. Combine that with age-related changes like presbyopia or cataracts, and your eyes are working harder than before. This can irritate the eyelid muscles and spark twitching. A personal story might make this clearer. One of my patients, a 68-year-old retired teacher, came to me worried about a persistent eyelid twitch. She feared it might be the beginning of Parkinson's disease. After a few gentle questions, it turned out she had been staying up late watching TV series on her tablet and drinking 2 cups of coffee at night to stay awake. The solution wasn't complicated: adjusting her caffeine intake and creating a better sleep routine. Within a week, the twitching stopped completely. Stress and emotional health. We often think stress only affects the young, but seniors experience stress just as much, only in different forms. Worry about health, financial security, or even loneliness. Stress activates the sympathetic nervous system, the so-called fight or flight response. This can cause muscles all over the body to tense and misfire, including those around the eye. Imagine you're dealing with the anxiety of a new medication or waiting for a test result. Your shoulders might tense up, your stomach might feel uneasy, and without realizing it, your eyelid begins twitching. In this sense, the twitch is your body's way of whispering, slow down, take a breath. When it's harmless and when it's not. Most eyelid twitches in seniors are benign. They come and go, and they don't interfere with vision. If the twitching lasts only a few seconds or a few minutes and happens every now and then, you can usually relax. However, it's important to draw the line between harmless and potentially concerning signs. If the twitching persists for more than 2 weeks without relief, spreads beyond the eyelid into the cheek or other parts of the face, interferes with your ability to open your eye fully, or comes with other symptoms like double vision, drooping eyelid, or weakness in the face, then it's time to call your doctor. These red flags could point to something more serious, such as a nerve problem or, in rare cases, a neurological disorder. Medical causes behind eyelid twitching in seniors. While most eyelid twitching is harmless, people over 60 face unique health challenges that can make these spasms a little more complicated. Unlike in younger adults, where lack of sleep or too much coffee is usually the main reason, seniors often have additional factors at play, especially medications, chronic health conditions, and age-related eye changes. Let's explore these step by step. 1. Medications and their side effects. One of the most overlooked causes of eyelid twitching in older adults is medication side effects. By the time many people reach their 60s, it's not uncommon to be taking multiple prescriptions daily. Some of these drugs can overstimulate the nervous system or irritate the muscles around the eyes. For example, bronchodilators used for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, can sometimes overstimulate nerve pathways, causing tremors or twitches. Diuretics for blood pressure may lead to electrolyte imbalances, particularly low potassium or magnesium, which play a role in muscle stability. Antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications may alter brain chemistry in ways that trigger minor muscle spasms. A 72-year-old man I once worked with complained of nonstop lower eyelid twitching. After reviewing his medications, we discovered that his new blood pressure pill was lowering his potassium levels. With a simple adjustment and dietary changes, adding bananas and spinach, his symptoms faded. This shows how something as small as nutrition can correct what looks like a nerve problem. 2. Eye conditions more common in seniors. As the eyes age, they become more vulnerable to irritation, dryness, and strain. These conditions can all play a role in triggering eyelid twitching. Dry eye syndrome is one of the biggest culprits. Tear production decreases with age, and medications like antihistamines or decongestants can make dryness worse. When the surface of the eye is irritated, the eyelid muscles may react with spasms. Blepharitis, or eyelid inflammation, is another condition that becomes more frequent in seniors. This chronic irritation can make eyelids twitch repeatedly. Cataracts and glaucoma don't directly cause twitching, but they make you strain your eyes harder to see. That constant effort increases the likelihood of spasms. Think of it like this. If your car's windshield wipers are old and not working smoothly, they start to stutter. The eyelid muscles are the same. When the surface of the eye isn't lubricated or healthy, the muscles overcompensate, and you notice twitching. 3. Neurological factors. Although rare, Certain neurological conditions are more likely to appear later in life. While I want to stress that eyelid twitching alone almost never indicates a serious neurological disease, it's important to be aware of the possibilities. Benign essential blepharospasm is a condition where eyelid muscles contract uncontrollably, sometimes leading to frequent blinking or difficulty keeping eyes open. It usually starts subtly with occasional twitching and becomes stronger over time. Hemifacial spasm is another condition caused by irritation of the facial nerve. Unlike simple eyelid twitching, this often spreads to the cheek and mouth, creating more noticeable spasms. In very rare cases, persistent twitching could be associated with Parkinson's disease or other movement disorders, though these come with many other clear symptoms. The key is context. If the twitching happens alongside tremors in the hands, stiffness, or slowed movement, then it deserves medical attention. If it's isolated and comes and goes, it's almost always benign. 4. Systemic health conditions. Your eyelids are tiny, but they can reflect larger issues happening inside the body. Conditions common in older adults can sometimes show up as twitches. Hypertension, high blood pressure stress on the cardiovascular system can affect nerves and muscles, sometimes resulting in spasms. Diabetes. High blood sugar over time can damage small nerves, including those that control eyelid function. Nutritional deficiencies. Magnesium, potassium, and calcium deficiencies, often due to poor absorption or restricted diets, are linked to frequent twitches. One 65-year-old woman told me she felt embarrassed because her eye kept fluttering during church. After some blood work, her doctor found she had a magnesium deficiency caused by her diuretic medication. With supplements, the problem resolved. It's an important reminder. Sometimes the solution is as straightforward as balancing your diet. Why seniors need to pay attention. At first glance, eyelid twitching might feel like nothing more than an annoyance. But for people over 60, it could be an early signal of underlying issues worth addressing. Even if the cause is simple, like fatigue or dryness, the twitching serves as a helpful reminder to check in with your body. Consider this. Your eyelids are among the thinnest, most sensitive muscles in your body. If they're reacting, it's because something is stimulating them. For seniors, that something is often linked to overall health. By paying attention to the little signals, you might catch a nutritional imbalance, medication side effect, or even an early eye condition before it becomes more serious. Lifestyle factors that amplify the problem. It's not only medical conditions or medications. Sometimes lifestyle habits make eyelid twitching more persistent. Alcohol consumption can worsen dehydration and nervous system irritability. Smoking can reduce oxygen supply to nerves, increasing spasms. Dehydration is especially common in older adults, as the sensation of thirst decreases with age. Not drinking enough water can make twitching worse. I once knew a retired Navy veteran who enjoyed 2 glasses of whiskey every night. At 70, he noticed constant twitching in his left eyelid. After discussing hydration and alcohol reduction, he cut back significantly, and the twitching nearly disappeared. His story highlights how small lifestyle changes can bring surprising relief. Practical strategies to manage eyelid twitching at home. By now, you know that eyelid twitching after 60 is usually not dangerous, but it can be annoying and even distracting. The good news is that there are many practical steps you can take right at home to calm your eyelids and reduce how often the twitching happens. These steps aren't complicated. They're about listening to your body, making small adjustments, and keeping track of your health. 1. Rest and sleep hygiene. The simplest but most powerful remedy is rest. Sleep quality naturally declines with age, but there are ways to improve it. Create a consistent bedtime routine, going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. Limit screen time an hour before bed to reduce eye strain. Keep your bedroom dark, quiet, and slightly cool. One of my older neighbors, age 74, told me she often stayed up until 1 a.m. watching late-night television. Her eyelid twitches were happening almost daily. By shifting her bedtime back to 10 p.m. and using a small lamp instead of bright overhead lights in the evening, her twitching improved within 2 weeks. 2. Limit caffeine and alcohol. Caffeine is a stimulant, and while a morning cup of coffee can be comforting, 3 or 4 cups may overstimulate your nervous system. Alcohol, on the other hand, dehydrates and stresses the nervous system. Cutting back, even slightly, can make a huge difference. If you're over 60, consider switching to half-caffeinated or decaf coffee afternoon. Replacing your evening glass of wine with herbal tea, which supports relaxation and hydration. A 69-year-old man I counseled used to drink 3 cups of strong coffee in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. After reducing to 1 cup in the morning and replacing the afternoon coffee with chamomile tea, his twitching went from daily to once a week. 3. Eye lubrication and comfort. Dry eyes are extremely common in older adults, and dryness often triggers twitching. Using artificial tears or moisturizing eye drops can provide immediate relief. Choose preservative-free drops if you need them frequently. Apply them before activities like reading, screen use, or going outside on a windy day. Another tip is using a warm compress. A simple washcloth soaked in warm water, placed gently over closed eyes for 5 to 10 minutes, relaxes the muscles and improves circulation. 4. Nutrition and hydration. Muscles need minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium to function properly. Deficiencies in these nutrients are linked to muscle spasms, including eyelid twitching. Foods rich in these nutrients include magnesium, leafy greens, almonds, pumpkin seeds; potassium, bananas, oranges, sweet potatoes; calcium, dairy products, fortified plant milks, broccoli. Hydration is equally important. Seniors often don't feel as thirsty, but the body still needs at least 6 to 8 cups of water daily. Dehydration makes nerves more irritable and twitching more likely. One woman I knew, age 66, rarely drank water. She relied mostly on coffee and tea. After her doctor encouraged her to carry a water bottle and aim for 2 liters a day, not only did her eyelid twitching stop, but she also noticed fewer headaches and more energy. 5. Stress management. Stress doesn't disappear after retirement. In fact, health concerns, family responsibilities, or financial worries can sometimes create more stress. Stress makes eyelid twitching worse. Practical methods to reduce stress. Gentle exercises like yoga, tai chi, or walking. Breathing exercises. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Hobbies that bring joy. Gardening, painting, listening to music. A retired 70-year-old veteran once told me that his twitching always got worse before doctor appointments, when anxiety was high. By practicing 5 minutes of deep breathing each morning, he was able to calm both his nerves and his eyelids. 6. Track your symptoms. One of the smartest things you can do is keep a simple diary of your eyelid twitching. Write down when it happens, how long it lasts, what you ate or drank that day, how much sleep you got, any new medications you started. Patterns often emerge. For example, you may notice twitching happens after a salty meal, during stressful weeks, or when you skip water. Sharing this diary with your doctor gives them valuable clues. 7. Protecting eye health overall. Your eyelids are part of your eyes, so keeping your overall eye health in good shape reduces twitching too. Schedule yearly eye exams, especially after 60, or proper glasses or updated prescriptions to avoid strain. Protect your eyes outdoors with sunglasses that block UV rays. A small investment in proper eyewear often pays back in comfort and reduced twitching. Putting it all together, if you're over 60 and struggling with eyelid twitching, don't think of it as something you just have to live with. By making small changes, getting proper rest, adjusting caffeine, using eye drops, eating balanced meals, staying hydrated, managing stress, and tracking symptoms, you can reduce or even completely eliminate twitching. And remember, sometimes the twitch isn't just a nuisance. It's your body's way of reminding you to slow down, care for yourself, and stay in tune with your health. When should seniors seek medical help? Up to this point, we've focused on the harmless and everyday causes of eyelid twitching after 60. But there are times when twitching becomes more than just a nuisance. Knowing the difference can give you peace of mind and ensure you get help early if needed. Here are clear signs that it's time to see your doctor. The twitching lasts longer than 2 weeks without improvement. The spasms spread beyond your eyelid, involving your cheek or mouth. Your eyelid begins to droop, or you cannot fully open your eye. The twitching interferes with your vision or daily activities. You experience other symptoms at the same time, such as double vision, dizziness, or weakness on one side of your body. For most seniors, the twitching will not mean anything serious. But if any of these red flags appear, you should not wait. Schedule an appointment. Quick action is always better than ignoring something that might need care. How doctors diagnose persistent twitching. When you see a doctor about eyelid twitching, the first step is usually a detailed history and physical exam. They will ask how long you've had the twitching, whether you've changed medications recently, how much caffeine or alcohol you consume, if you have any history of eye disease or neurological symptoms. Often, just from these questions and a simple eye exam, doctors can determine if your twitching is harmless. In some cases, further testing may be needed. Blood work to check for deficiencies in magnesium, potassium, or calcium. Medication review to identify side effects. Neurological evaluation if the twitching is spreading or combined with other symptoms. Imaging tests like MRI in rare cases where nerve compression or serious neurological issues are suspected. For seniors, the good news is that most cases never get to this stage. But the possibility of further testing helps rule out anything worrisome and provides reassurance. Treatment options if lifestyle changes don't work. Most eyelid twitching goes away with simple adjustments. But if lifestyle changes don't help, doctors may recommend prescription eye drops to treat dryness or inflammation, nutritional supplements, especially magnesium or potassium, if a deficiency is found, botulinum toxin injections, Botox, in rare cases of persistent blepharospasm. These relax the eyelid muscles for several months at a time. Medication adjustments, switching to a different drug, or changing doses to reduce twitching side effects. One of my former patients, a 71-year-old woman, had severe blepharospasm that wouldn't respond to drops or lifestyle changes. Her doctor gave her tiny Botox injections around the eyelid. She was nervous at first, but the results were life-changing. She could open her eyes comfortably, and the twitching stopped almost completely. It's a reminder that there are solutions, even for stubborn cases. The emotional side of eyelid twitching. It's also worth mentioning the emotional toll. Seniors sometimes worry that twitching makes them look nervous, tired, or unhealthy in social situations. Some even fear people will judge them. If you've ever felt embarrassed by twitching, know that you're not alone. Many older adults experience the same thing. Talking about it openly with your doctor, spouse, or friends can lift some of that burden. Remember, a twitching eyelid does not define you, nor does it mean you're weak or unhealthy. It's simply a muscle reacting to stressors. A positive outlook. The important takeaway is this. In almost every case, eyelid twitching in people over 60 is harmless. It may be annoying, but it rarely signals something dangerous. In fact, twitching often acts like a gentle tap on the shoulder from your body, saying, "Get more rest, drink more water, take a closer look at your medications, slow down and breathe." By listening to these signals, you can improve not only your eyelid twitching, but also your overall health. Thank you for joining us today on Living Well After 60. We've explored eyelid twitching in detail, from what it is to everyday triggers, medical causes, home remedies, and when to see your doctor. If your eyelids flutter now and then, take comfort in knowing you're not alone, and most of the time it's nothing to worry about. But also remember the red flags we discussed. Your health is too important to ignore. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with friends or family members who might also be wondering about their twitching eyelids. And don't forget to subscribe for more health and wellness advice tailored for life after 60. Stay well, take care of your eyes, and we'll see you in the next video.